Good evening, Inkspill Glimmers, and welcome back to the show. As you see, we're doing something a little different tonight. I'm alone. Nick is out on vacation, so I was thinking of doing something a little different for you guys. I really wanted to explore the new archetypes from this metagame for Whispers in the Well. I've been really excited about everything Whispers in the Well. I love the cards. I think it opened up so many cool, um, so many cool possibilities for this new format. I wasn't the biggest fan of the Fable format, as you might know from the live streams and whatnot. We all were not the biggest fans of that format. We played it in Milwaukee, and it was whatever. So without further ado, just let's jump into it. I want to keep this quite short and informative for people that are looking to get started with the new meta, just like starting points and stuff that is really reliable. And if you want to say reliable, the first deck that comes to mind right now that has been picking up the most, I want to say, powerful cards at raw rate is Blue Steel. So Sapphire Steel has picked up two great cards for from Whispers in the Well. Namely, we have a list here, a sample list here. We can talk about Cinderella Dream Come True. She is a 2/3 for 4 uninkable, questing for 1, but the real kicker is her special ability, which is at the end of your turn, if you play the princess character this turn, you may put a card from your hand into your inkwell face down to draw a card. So, not necessarily a ninkable card. This card filtering and ramping is just amazing. Coming from that card, she is the most pricey card of the whole set. Like, she's a chase of the set. Everybody's been raving about, like, oh, I need to find my Cindy's. I need to find my Cindy's. And the other card that is really big right now is Goliath, a clan leader, and big is a good word for it. It's a 6/5 for 6, questing for 2. So he reads Dusk to Dawn, which is at the end of each player's turn. If they have more than 2 cards in their hand, they choose and discard cards until they have 2. If they have fewer than 2 cards in their hand, they draw until they have 2. And he has, I want to say, kind of a flavor text of Stone by Day, as all gargoyles from Whispers in the Well do. If you have 3 or more cards in your hand, this character can't ready. Actually, it has been relevant. I played some games where my opponent managed to make me draw some cards, so my Goliath would stay exerted during my turn. I couldn't quest with it. I couldn't challenge with him. So there are ways. We can think about the Donald from the Perfect Gentleman, from Emerald. Other ways to do that would be You're Welcome. Mostly Emerald kind of ways to do it. If not, there's always how do you call it? Beyond the Horizon. Anyway, we're not here to talk about the what makes Goliath not great, because he's a great card. So the idea behind the Sapphire Steel deck is a ramp control strategy, hinging on mid range. Like it is still based upon characters, very valuable characters, such as Tinkerbell, Giant Fairy, who was a big hit in previous sets. Actually, I'm just gonna, while I go through these cards, we are looking here at Alex Quick top 4 list from CardCon CCQ. Congrats to Alex. I think his list is a good, I won't say backbone to work on the strategy. There are some things that I do not quite agree with, but this is all. We'll talk about this later when I get to my personal list that I played this weekend. Actually, as I filmed this, as I played today in Win a Case to some success. Like I top aided that tournament, which was in Sherbrooke with our friends. Which, for those who know, that these events can get quite intense. Some big names were there. Sailor was playing, Phil Asselin was playing, Clara, Nick Bella. All the usual suspects were there competing. So, looking at Alex's list, we see here we're starting out with a Captain Hook Forceful Duelist, the 1/2 that gets Challenger 2. We have one card I loved a lot and I included in my list is Mulan, the Disguised Soldier. She is just a looter, so you draw a card, you discard a card. She's a 2/1, she costs 1. The most important part of it is she's a princess. She will trigger your Cinderella on later turns for very, very, very cheap. Especially paired with a Goliath. This is just amazing. I will talk about mechanics after I go through like the backbone of the deck. We see here we have Tipo and Celiazarite C, who are our main ways to ramp. You always want your ramp on turn 2 in this deck. Just like Blurple was doing in last set's meta. Turn 2, you have to ramp into your turn 4, into your 4 inks on turn 3, which will enable you to play either Cinderella, which we talked about, or another way to ramp is Kida, Carefree Thinker, a Creative Thinker, sorry, which is a 3/3 ward that has the activated ability Key of the Puzzle, which you can look at the top 2 cards of your deck. You put 1 face down in your Inkwell Exerted and 1 on top of your deck. She's amazing card selection. She's ward. She is quite large for a 4-drop, so it's your other way to ramp. Ideally, you want Cinderella to be more effective with that, but Kida does just fine. Also, she's a princess too. Other ways to turn on your Cinderella. We're continuing the rundown with Namari, the single-minded arrival, which is a 0/5 for 5 inkable, questing for 2. So what she says is when you play this character, and at the start of your turn, you may draw a card, then discard a card, and she gets 1 strength for each card in your discard. She gets pretty large, pretty fast. Then we get Goliath, which we already talked about. Tinkerbell, Giant Fairy, a classic for 5 for 6 inkable that deals the damage across the board. And then when she banishes a character, she can deal 2 more damage. Great card, great value, great to deal with aggro boards in general. Then we have Hades, Infernal Schemer, mainstay of the last meta, mainstay of the whole game at this point. He's a 3/6/4/7. You know all about it. When he comes into play, you may put chosen opposing character into their player's inkwell face down. Very, very effective way to remove characters without even banishing them. We get a newcomer. Well, I want to say relative newcomer here from set 8, Vincenzo Santorini, the explosive expert, a 2/8, questing for 3, big stats, love it. But also when he comes into play, he smashes. So he just does a smash, deal 3 damage to chosen character. Great rate. Oh, and we have a new card that we kind of ripped on during our set review. that we found that is quietly not as bad as we thought. We have the Headless Horseman Cursed Rider, 5/7 for 8, inkable, questing for 2 with shift. Shift is just flavor text at this point. But when you play this character, each player draws 3 cards, then discards 3 cards at random. Choose an opposing character and deal 2 damage to them for each action discarded this way. This is a great way to deal with things that are fairly large. If you're playing in the mirror match, Hades, Vincenzo. Another very popular card right now is Prince Philip, the Vanquisher of Foes, Demona, the Scourge of Wyvern Clan, Goliath. So I'm just naming like really, really big stuff that you have to. Well, you still have to hit 3 actions, which I feel is easier than it was in earlier formats, since decks tend to run an average of 12 actions. New decks, new blue decks, will run more around the number of 18 to 20. I know my personal list runs 20, so it's quite easy to like hit 2 from your own deck and 1 from your opponent's deck, and then you kind of hit everything. The other cards that we're playing, they're kind of mainstays in all the lists. Develop Your Brain. From those who come from Magic, I just call it Sleight of Hand. You look at the top 2 cards, you put 1 into your hand, 1 onto the bottom of your deck. Fairly simple cantrip. Helps you fix your hand early on in the game when you are probably searching for your 2-drop ramp if you fail to find it in your mulligan, or your 4-drop that you want to play on turn 3. Like it's I always feel it's the glue of the deck. It helps you just find the pieces, since the deck is so consistent and wants to you have to be very disciplined with finding your pieces and executing the plan in the first turns. So Develop Your Brain just enables that. And then for your removal suit, you have String of a Raging Fire, a classic, for 3, inkable. It's a song that says you deal damage equal to your number of characters. We have a new song from the new set. He hurled his Thunderbolt, which is the continuation and then along came Zeus. If you remember the song, it goes, and then along came Zeus, he hurled his Thunderbolt. I'm gonna stop singing at this point. And it deals 4 damage, which is 1 less than Zeus used to deal, for 4 uninkable, just as Zeus was. But your deities, you get Challenger +2. And who is a deity in our deck? Yeah, you're right. Hades is. He is the big bad that will get pumped from this. And challenging for 5 on your Hades, which was always kind of his pitfall of just being a tad small for challenging. Now you're just seeing to that with your removal, so you get to pick up a lot of stuff out off the board. And lastly, a bit of a card advantage engine when you manage to dump your whole hand and maybe you don't have a Goliath to refill on every turn. Beyond the Horizon is a Sing Together for 7 that can be sung by Hades, by Vincenzo, by Headless Rider, and it's still Sing Together. You can have 2 princesses sing it however you want it. And you choose any number of players, they discard their hand and draw 3. It is very good in many situations where you probably want to disrupt the plan of your opponent, or maybe your opponent drew a lot of cards and you want them to dump those cards, while you also like maybe have no cards and just want to draw 3, or have 1 card that is not very relevant and you just want to reload. Okay, now we're gonna talk about some sweet synergies. Like when I built this deck the first time, like this is, again, I'm just gonna use Alex's list to showcase a bit what the main plan of the deck wants to do. So you want to ramp on turn 2 with either Tipo or Sell the Azurite Sea into Cinderella or Kida ideally Cinderella, that will ramp you on turn 4 to a 6 drop. And the choice 6 drop is that Goliath. That will refill your hand. That is probably quite empty by this time. You probably sung a bit with either your Cinderella or whatever you had on the board. You had to ink quite aggressively with Tipo. So Goliath will be giving you some new cards. It can also attack your opponent's hand in decks like Blurple, where they might still be holding on to like 5 cards, and you're telling them, okay, you have to unload right now, or you're gonna lose those cards. So this is probably the most powerful line that the deck can execute. But you don't always have to go into your Goliath. You can go into your Tinkerbell, which is very, very good against aggressive strategies. You can go into your Namari, which is a huge threat on the board. So, as you see, it's quite straightforward. Oh, what I was getting ahead of myself is the interaction between Cinderella and Goliath. You stack the triggers however you want in Lorcana. So you might want to empty your hand. Maybe you play the princess this turn. So you get to draw 2 from the Goliath, take the worst card among the 2, put it in your inkwell with your Cinderella, and then redraw. So your hand is always very, very good. It unlocks a lot of plays. I like I was telling people at my local league, you feel like you have the hugest brain ever when you do that, and you unlock a lot of possibility. You set up for further plays with like Hades, Vincenzo, Halus Rider, removal if you need it, like whatever. It's very, very strong. I wanted to also explore some other variants of the deck. I know Zan Sayed, household name of the community, love the guy, posted a list of blue steel allies. One of my friends was playing the list today to, I want to say, moderate success. We played against each other, and he graciously conceded because our game went so long. It was the winning end for the top 8. So thank you, William, who is a subscriber of the channel and a good friend. So shout out to William. Yeah, so in Zan's list, what is different from I want to say a bit more traditional list, or I want to say bare bone list? You have a package of allies. You have the 1-drop Jasmine and the 4-drop Jasmine that shifts on turn 2. So she's a 2/5 for 4, questing for 1. That you can shift on turn 2, which unlocks Singing Thunderbolt on turn 2 if you ever need to do that. But also, she's a card advantage engine, saying that whenever this character quest, look at the top 3 of your deck. You may reveal an ally card from among them and put it into your hand. You put the rest on the bottom of your deck. And in this deck, you have quite a bunch of allies. You can find your Tipos, you can find your Doc, your Pleaky, your Lexington, who's another gargoyle from the new set, the 4/4 with Alert and Stone by Day. Vincenzo is an ally. Tinkerbell is an ally. Like, your deck is mostly allies. So, the thing I find very interesting with Zan's list is that you don't have to commit to the 2/4/6 as in the other list. You may just go ahead and do the Jasmine plays. And also, you have cards like Pleaky that can turbo ramp you if ever you go turn 1 Jasmine, turn 2 Shift Jasmine, turn 3 Pleaky, and now you have all of the ink. So yeah, this version seems a bit more explosive, but I think like it has a bit, well, Okay, I misremembered that it had another plan for removal. It's exactly the same as the last list we looked at. We see here that we don't have space for fluff like develop your brain or either vision of the future, which we'll talk shortly. But the usual suspects are all here. Namely, some princesses are not here. It's more ally driven. The only other princess than your Cinderella in here is the two Jasmines. So just a bit less chance of turning on the Cinderella. And lastly, I want to talk about my own list, which I took today to make top 8 at the winner case. I think this list is a bit more controlly. It's a bit more leaning toward princesses. It really wants to take advantage of that Cinderella. I love those play patterns where you go like Cinderella into Goliath and then you just start spinning your wheels by playing stuff like Ariel, Sonic Warrior from set 4 that has been reprinted in Fable. I included Aurora, Dreaming Guardian from set 1, reprinted in set 9 as well. Another princess from set 9 as a one-of that I am playing is Jasmine, Fearless Princess, that is evasive during your turn. Quest for 2, she has a huge body. She's a 3/7 and you can discard cards to make her challenge for even more. That's just great. And obviously, like we were talking about Ariel, she's very, very good with the songs that we're playing, which is exactly the same spread as the other two lists. I'm seeing that I kind of failed to update uh, my own version of the deck right here. What we can see also is that I play a bit more of an action package, so making sure that the Headless Horseman is very, very good. So you have your develops. Like I said, I love the card. It's the glue of the deck. Sail is not to include. You have two Visions of the Future, which are really, really good later on in the game. If you're like looking specifically for something, like maybe you need a Hades, maybe you want a high roll Headless Rider, maybe you're looking for a bit of card draw in Goliath or Beyond the Horizon. Also, something that the other lists weren't playing because probably they were considering that aggro was not a big part of their metagames is Spooky Sight. Spooky Sight, very, very good card that deals with small characters. 3 or less. It's a card from a new set, 6 uninkable. It's an action that says put all characters with cost 3 or less in their player's inkwell face down and exerted. So sometimes you will maybe turbo ramp your aggro opponent, but you might also hit some of your T-pos and Mulans after they did their job of ramping you already or just filtering, and you'll keep up with the inkwell of your opponent with your Cinderella, obviously. So, oh, and I was saying I didn't update that page. The only update I forgot to do is I'm only on one Aurora Dreaming Guardian. The reason she's here is for particularly control mirrors where they have to deal with her. Like, they have to have more than one answer to your board. If they want to target something else, like they have to deal with the Aurora and then deal with your other stuff as she gives ward to everything. She's a princess, works really well with Cinderella, but I only played one today, and I had one more Namari. I think Namari just a bit better with the card selection and the huge potential for a body. So yeah, so I've been we're trying this formula right here. If you want if you want to discuss about tech, like I'm really passionate about this deck. I started out with Whispers in the Well wanting to brew a lot. I did a lot less of that than I wanted because I was working on this, and I've been amazed with this. I feel it's one of the strongest decks of the format. We'll be exploring everything else that is played right now. While Nick is on vacation, I will try to prepare some videos even while I'm on vacation, or I want to say vacation, as I'll be competing in Calgary in the regional championship for the Canadian regional championship for Magic. But I'll make sure that you have some content to look through with the other decks of the metagame that are interesting. So if you want to talk tech, just hit me up. I'll be glad to talk to you about this, give you some tips, tricks, maybe bounce some ideas of new cards in the decks, whatever might please you guys. So, without further ado, I'm gonna send you off and see you really soon and tell you to keep questing.